We're back. T.A. Mahoney, Tales from the Dark Side. Boy, I've got a real winner today. Second, second appearance here on the show. We probably could do about 6 months worth
At least.
of these with all
At
these
least.
stories. And I got my fancy pants buddy. He goes by about 5 different names. We call him Shuffles. We call him Big Ed. We call him Tulu Red and Alligator Arms. And Captain Ed.
Captain Ed.
What's going on, Ed Williams?
Nothing, man. Just getting back, trying to recover from our fantastic hunting season and just coming here to have a little fun.
You know, telling stories and having fun. I've had a ton of fun with you. We were in between talking and getting setting up and talking about some of the good times and some of the shenanigans that we've played, you know. I think one of the funniest ones I can think about was the old raccoon and the bread. We're fishing.
Boca Grand.
Wasn't that a great one?
That was good.
We're fishing in a tournament, and we needed chum. So part of our chum mix is bread. So I elected to run up to the store, get bread. I got 4 loaves.
4 loaves.
4 loaves of bread. I brought them back, and I wasn't really thinking. I hadn't been to that many tournaments down in Boca Grande, but they've got quite a few raccoons and other nighttime critters that like to get into your food and your coolers, and we've had all kinds of issues with them over there on little Gasparilla Island.
We're staying at that
Boca North.
Boca North, that's right.
So I threw the bread loaves in the back of the truck, and next morning we got up, and I looked in the back of my truck, and 2 of the loaves looked like they had been hit with a chainsaw. Just ripped open, bread everywhere, broke apart. Of course, I grabbed the 2 good loaves, and as Ed is asking me where the bread is, I said, it's in the back of the truck. Your bread's back there. Well, he looks, and he's got 2 busted bags with a half a loaf in each.
Scattered all over the bed of the truck. That was hilarious.
And do you remember what you said to me?
No, I don't.
How do you know those are yours?
That's
too?
right. That's right. And what was your response?
I said, I know they were.
Because I bought them.
Yeah, I set yours on the other side.
Typical
He's
shenanigans.
shoving the bread back in the bag.
We won't say the words.
It was hilarious.
It was funny.
It was a good time. You know, at the ramp, here's another one for you I thought about with you, Ed. The ramp.
Oh, God. Which one?
Why don't you tell us about it?
The Alafai River?
Yeah, that'll work. Let's start with that one.
Brand new boat, new truck. Coming back in from fishing, Mike goes, you want to load the boat or you want to load the truck? And, of course, it's my new boat. So I said, no, you back the truck in. So he gets all crying.
I didn't care. I'm just
No, he
thinking,
didn't care, you know. So
I'm probably better off.
He huffs up to get to the boat, and he comes back, backs it in, and I get it up there and get it loaded. We get it all hooked up. I'm standing there,
I
motor
did tell you to
off,
hold on.
motor trimmed up. Next thing I know, there's smoke bellowing from my truck as he pulls the boat out of the ramp. Gets it up there, locks in. He jumps out and goes, what?
I couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear you.
Stereo
The stereo
was
was too loud. And
let me tell you something. If your buddies ever ask you to pull the boat out because they don't think you're smart enough
Mike Mahoney's
to
there.
load the boat,
You let Mike drive the boat. You put the truck in the trailer in the water.
You want to put the trailer in where somebody else just pulled out, so it's nice and wet. Then their brand new truck. I think it was a Z71, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I put it to the floor, and I'm going, oh, it's not moving, but smoke was just a rolling off.
Screeching.
Ed was hot. He didn't know whether to snatch me out of the truck or just in awe, weren't you?
Yep.
Was that the first time or the
That was
only time?
No, it wasn't the last time, but, you know.
Where'd I do it again at? Over there at Blinds Pass?
Blinds Pass and the condos, 3 a.m. in the morning, and no, you know, in the silence. It was the quiet hour or whatever they called it over there.
Yeah, they put a sign up.
Mm-hmm.
That was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had the boat ramp there at the park first, and then the condos came in, and they didn't like us powering up. You weren't allowed to power up at first, right?
No.
Had to be all quiet over there.
Then they put it where you had to be out by 9, I think it was.
Yeah, or you were
something
getting
like
a ticket. Even if you stayed out all night, you were getting a ticket.
Yep.
I got it there once too, didn't I? Different truck.
I think so. Done so much stuff, bro. That's why I named you Shenanigans.
What's it like being on the boat with me? Can you relax?
Never. Can't do anything around you. Hunting camp, you got to be on your guard. You got to lock your trailer. I got a funny story about that.
Let's hear it.
So we're sitting at the hunting camp this year. Tommy gets on the phone, Tommy Laurens, with one of his buddies. And he tells him, we're at the hunting camp. Mike's there. He goes, oh, Tommy, look. He goes, you better lock your stuff up because Mahoney's up there and he's putting stuff live on Facebook.
That was Larry Murphy snitching on me.
Crumbling the crackers and the Doritos.
You got some of that this year, didn't
No,
you?
I don't. If I did, I didn't find it. But I made sure I locked my door almost every time.
Oh, I don't go in the house, but if you leave your stuff on the porch, it's fair game.
Is there something I missed?
No.
Okay,
No.
sure.
We're going to talk about hunting. We'll talk about that probably next one. 'Cause
There
we
you go.
got,
Yeah.
we got a bunch to talk about.
Never a dull moment, brother.
Hey, just remember, our sponsors, Butler Boyd. Anything we're talking about is just for entertainment. Don't take it to heart. Should we talk about tail trimming?
Never.
I think Eddie was the one that taught me how to trim a tail way back. Eddie, weren't you the first one that showed me how to give him a haircut? I'll tell you something from
Mike
somebody.
the barber. Mike the barber.
Yeah, he used to call me the barber. I'd have bobtail snook, 34 inches, weighed 22 pounds. We were upset, though, weren't we, at first when they changed the rule? Remember
yeah,
back
it's
in
ridiculous.
the good old days?
36 inches you were allowed
No, I
one
think-
over
Yeah,
originally.
It was something like that. I think we could do 34 was the first limit, wasn't it?
I thought it used to be 36 or 35.
Yeah, I mean,
could
at
be
first I
mistaken.
didn't really pay attention to it, but when you got people talking to you all the time about it, you tend to kind of start listening. And I knew the big ones. It was a big push back in the day, and I remember back then, Ed was one of the guys that used to fish with me religiously for snook, big snook at night. He's got the passion. You got to beg him to come in. Mosquitoes biting, 3 in the morning, he's still ready to fish. And that's one of the reasons why we fish so much together. But shoot, we've had our share at back when you could keep them, all them 40 inchers at Alify and at Blinds Pass was one of the best places we, could really hammer them come summertime.
40 inches? What's the statute of limitations?
Well, you can say whatever you want. This is all comedy.
Okay.
This ain't the truth.
That's good.
Don't ever let the truth get in the way of a good story. Let's hear it.
Absolutely.
Did you trim a tail?
I didn't trim a tail.
You've seen a tail?
I watched
You watched somebody trim
I
a
watched
tail?
a barber give a fish a haircut.
That was his cousin, Mike Pierce.
No, that
and
was-
I had to come over. They had a bobtail snook. I couldn't believe it. It was a bobtail snook. It weighed 16 pounds. It was 32 inches. Had no tail. And they cut it off with a fillet knife.
Whoa. Not they.
Oh, I know. You had your back turned. You knew nothing about it. Honest Ed. But as soon as it was trimmed, he's legal. Ed's keeping him. Oh, he's legal. He measures.
What's the old saying? A big fat red is a well-fed Ed?
Yeah, that was, we were out there fishing one time. Let's tell that one. Bill Miller used to have, what was the name of that? West Coast Fishing, Left Coast Fishing, something like that. It was on cable, and we took him out there. We were on the snook pretty good, and I thought it'd be good for camera if we released everything we caught, whether it was legal or not. You want to look good releasing the fish. Ed catches a red, and he's like, no, I'm not on that program. Don't put me on TV. I could care less. I'm here because Mike asked me to be here. We're trying to get the release.
Doug was with us, wasn't he?
Oh,
yeah,
it
Doug was in my boat. You had the two guys in.
Big Flim Flam.
Yeah.
If y'all want to know what Flim Flam is, I brought him in tonight. Okay? I brought the master of Flim
Hey,
Flam.
nobody gave me a Flim Flam Avenue sign for Christmas. That's all I got to say.
I did get one. I did get one. It's in my trophy room. I have to put a picture of that up. But Ed, yeah, he's a little bit of Flim Flam to him on that. He taught me how to trim that tail, but we won't. The barber. Have you ever double dipped?
Never.
What is double dipping?
This is when you stay at Mike Mahoney's beach house and you go out grouper fishing, trolling, you get your limit, you come back in,
Eat a sandwich?
eat a sandwich, whatever,
But what if your
load
day,
back up and go back out.
What if your day ends at noon? Most people go midnight to midnight. What if you go noon to noon and you count that as your day? Wouldn't you be legal?
Sure.
Yeah, if you caught your limit before noon, brought it back in, got something to eat. It's noon.
Well, a day is
afternoon.
24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So
So you're really looking at a daily bag limit, but it's a 2-day because your day ends at noon.
that's right.
Watch
right.
Ed. He's over there on the Little Manatee River. You still double dipping over there, Ed?
Never, never,
Never have?
never.
You've
No.
never caught
No.
a bunch of mangoes and then gone sneak in and sneak out? You sure? I'm just asking. I ain't trying to say you did it. You ever seen it done?
I've seen it done, yeah.
Seen it done. Don't double dip, boy. They give you a coupon for that, and they're looking for you over there. He had to move location. He stayed at the Little Manatee River for a couple years, and then he just moves around.
That's
Where they're really
hilarious.
under the radar. Just remember, this is all entertainment. Ed's a good guy, conservationist, supporter of CCA. We all are. And we all know some of the stuff we used to do may not do today, but it was fun when
Oh,
we
we
did.
definitely wouldn't do a lot of stuff we did.
I was
back
with
then
him one
today.
time, and well, we probably shouldn't talk about hitting them. No, unless when you got your boat all fixed up and I ran it, we went on.
Oh,
that
no, we
flat.
probably shouldn't tell them that.
We shouldn't
Yeah.
tell them that one.
Back
Well,
country.
I'll
Little
tell you
back
what,
country.
we're having some fun tonight, Ed. Thanks for coming out here. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to start talking about this year's hunting, because that's why you're back.
I can't wait.
I was going to set you up and just do a little bit at a time, let people get to know you, but so many stories
I can't wait.
in the next one. We'll be right back. We're back. T.A. Mahoney, Tales from the Dark Side, with my buddy. Which one are we going to call you? We're going to call you Two Lure Ed. That's what everybody knows you by. And real quick, let's talk about that. Let's give them an idea why we call you Two Lure Ed. Can
Why
you explain it?
call me Two Lure Ed?
Everybody calls you Two Lure Ed.
Because of you.
Why is it?
Because you got this notion in your head that I only went fishing with 2 lures. And
Lost both of them.
Lost both of them, didn't have any more. Truth be known, I had 4. I had lost 2. And it was the end of the day. I was tired. I was pissed off. So I just said, screw it. I caught those 2 big bull reds on the plugs by myself.
All I can tell you is it was the middle of the bite. We were trolling. Ed did not have a limit, and he was going home, which isn't very good accuracy for him on that. Usually he's there to the last minute to get
I'm getting old, bro. I'm getting old. I was tired.
maximum yield.
I was tired.
All right, let's go into this year's hunting season.
Awesome season.
How many deer you kill?
2.
The
2
whole
bucks.
season?
2 bucks all year.
How'd
I
you
let
do in
deer walk.
Georgia?
Didn't kill the first deer.
But watched a lot?
Watched a
Ed
lot.
goes up to Georgia, right, on how many acres?
110, I think.
And
it
his
is.
sole reason to go up there is to block other people, like his brother and other people, from
That's
killing
not
deer.
true. That's not
So I
true.
hope his brother's listening. He just ate up with it. He's got little cameras that send him cell phone pics. And did you have any good bucks on film? Did
We had a
any-
few. Yeah, it never came to fruition.
And where are you at in Georgia? Where do you
Butler.
hunt?
Butler.
What county? What
Taylor
area?
County. Taylor County.
And
Right down the
that's-
road from you.
So you're kind of southwest of Macon.
Something like that. Yeah.
About a 6-hour, 6.5-hour drive.
South of Perry. Southwest of Perry.
So that's the freebie. That's the hunt at your dad's property,
It's
your
my dad's.
family's
Yep,
property,
yep,
and
yep.
you got to go up there and block your brother from killing a deer, right?
No, not like that at all.
You don't do that?
No,
Never have.
no.
But you know, you've learned a lot. What'd you tell me about them going in the woods and all them pictures you had on camera?
Well, it's just, you go up there and I put cameras out and feeders and you get the deer coming in, everything's kosher, and you just, you get the feeling it's going to be the year. You got nice deer on camera, and then hunting season starts and the pressure gets on them, and boom, they're just nocturnal. They just disappear.
Really, what he wants to say is Uncle Bobo goes out there on his golf cart driving around. He sees him on the camera, and all of a sudden the deer disappear during the daytime because they know somebody's out there hunting them. And you kind of learn that stuff when you is that what you were wanting to say, and I just kind of helped you with it? Is that what I
it's
heard you saying?
Nothing I haven't said
Hey,
before.
so stay out of the woods, okay? When you're out there hunting, stay out of the woods.
Well, in his defense, it's
we were
it's a
talking
meat
about
camp.
somebody.
It's a meat camp. And
What's a meat camp?
It's just
a
that we
bunch
just
of guys?
if it's brown, it's down. There's not really.
No
it's
management?
nowhere near like Alabama. It's a good place.
So
I
you
enjoy
get
myself.
to kind of do what you want there. You like that?
Yeah.
Where nobody yells at you?
I can
kill
I
something.
can shoot what I want,
Small as you want.
Small as
Nobody-
I want.
And they pat you on the back.
but I let them walk. But I let them walk.
You get does out of there, I think,
Yeah,
don't you?
does mostly.
Get a little bit of meat and have a good time. So let's talk about Alabama.
Great time this year.
What's your highlight Alabama hunting camp this year? How many days were you there?
Hard to say. Probably 30.
30
Combined.
days at the hunting camp. We couldn't get him to leave, people. We
How
to
many did you
shut-
have, Mike? 60?
No, we're not talking about Mike right now. It doesn't matter how many Mikes. Mike, that's different.
Mike's the boss.
He's on a different program.
Yeah.
But what was your highlight of this year's hunt in Alabama, Ed?
Truthfully, it's just the camaraderie with all the guys. I went 3 years without actually shooting anything and not really seeing anything after my infamous miss of that 170, and kind of humbled me a little bit and started shooting a little bit more and getting better. And
You practicing left-handed?
practiced
Why don't we
left-handed.
tell everybody what happened that time? Monster buck.
Monster buck fever.
I'm gonna let him
Couldn't
tell
get the
you,
shot.
and then I'm gonna tell you.
There's not that much to it. You weren't there, so you really don't know.
But I
the
know
story.
what happened. Let's hear a story from you. Let's hear your side, the tainted story.
It's pretty simple. The buck comes out. He walked away. I'm in that little, I call it the outhouse, that little brown box on,
Well, yeah,
on
but any
stilts.
stand's little. Look at what you're putting inside of
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
But go ahead, go ahead, Biggin. So you get up in the stand. It's a little tight on you.
It's tight on anybody.
He's got a
the
4X.
the wasp are coming out of the cracks because it's warming up,
Oh, that's even more
You know.
special. And they're close to you.
and they're close, and you're going, you're taking a cigarette lighter and you're burning them, trying to kill them while they're
No
frozen.
fun. Wasp in the stand is no fun. So
No.
what happened? Big boy come out.
Big boy come out. He started to walk away. Got out of sight. I tried to get positioned. He came and he kept staring to the left, and then all of a sudden he was like making a beeline out of sight. And I hollered at him, and he kind of slowed down and looked. And then I couldn't get him from the right side, so I laid it up on the rail and tried to do it left-handed. And I guess I pulled it. I hit him in the I guess the leg bone or something. Never found him.
Wounded him, educated him, and then what happened?
Oh, you don't want to talk about wounded deer.
No, I want to keep talking about this deer. I want to hear your story, the
So-
one that's all wishy-washy, and then I'm going to tell you the truth.
Okay, so because you were there,
No, because you told it to me.
that's what I'm
You
telling
want
you,
me?
now.
Okay, go ahead. Then what happened?
So, all excited, found blood, found lots of blood, looked for him, couldn't find nothing. Tommy and I looked for him, couldn't find nothing. Called the dog guy out. That was hilarious in itself. I've kind of felt bad for the guy, but he has this tracking dog, and he had another, I think it was his catch dog, and off we went, and it went, and next thing you know, he goes, it's on him, and so we're running over there, and then the dog comes back to him, and I'm looking, I'm going, damn, blood everywhere. Well, it turns out the blood was from the dog, because the dog attacked one of the big boar hogs out there, and
Good tracking dog. Grabbed the boar instead of the deer.
yeah, so anyway,
He had to go to the vet.
called off. So I go home. I think it's a couple days later, and Tommy, the landowner, calls me and says, "Hey, the game warden came by and said that he saw a deer with a wounded leg across the street, biggest deer he's ever seen in the wild." And he said he estimated to be about 170, I think he said, wasn't it?
Monster buck. Now,
Yeah.
can I tell the story?
Go right ahead, sir.
Don't interrupt me, okay?
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
So Eddie gets up in the stance a little bit tight on him, which all the stands are a little bit tight on him, and he doesn't position himself. And for all you hunters out there, I'm going to give you, I'm not the best hunter, but
I can't interrupt.
I know how to kill stuff, okay, or I know how to wound it. I know how to shoot stuff.
Oh, you know how to shoot stuff.
I thought I was talking.
Okay, go ahead. I'll
So
let you go.
when you get in the stand, the first thing you want to do is every possible way you're going to take a shot, you want to go ahead and pull your gun up and practice to make sure you're ready to sit. Well, Old Sloppy over here climbs up in the stand, barely fit in it, plops down, looks out the windows and says, they probably won't come out over there. They'll probably come out over here. I don't even need to position over here. Well, where's the deer come out of? Comes out over here.
Where
so
you don't have the tree limbs.
This thing's a monster. If anybody's ever seen a 170, 160, anything close to that is just bam. I mean, that's a heck of a fair chase buck, and that's what we got in Alabama. Everything, we feed them all year. We work hard, and there's good bucks there. You don't always get a shot at that buck. All of us didn't. Eddie was the one. So Eddie
screwed it up.
Shot left-handed. And like I told Eddie, I said, you know how many I've missed left-handed? He's like, how many? I go, none, because I've never shot left-handed. Why?
I've done it before.
But when you get up in the stand, you're lazy and you're sloppy, and you got to make there's room for your big pack with all your food and candy bars in it. You can't get in the best position. Okay, that's what happened. And then the rest of the story goes true. Of course, our buddy Buzzard Bruce was there to help you. And I know it didn't make you feel good when he reached down and picked up a piece of the bone. And, if anybody knows
bone's not good.
Yeah,
bone's
not good. And when
I learned that.
He said that rounded bone is the front of the leg.
That's a leg bone. That's right.
So Bruce is about the only one that's cleaned a deer so good you could see the bones. I mean, he's the only one I know. They put a deer out in the field after he's cleaned it, and the buzzards don't even come. It's like no use to even land. That's why we call him Buzzard Bruce. So what were you saying about misses? What was the funniest thing that happened this year at hunting camp? What made you laugh the most? Because we're there to have a good time, I promise you. We don't kill the biggest, the best, the most, or none of that, but we enjoy. It's like our camp's more the misfit hunters.
Well,
all the ones that are rejected from all the other camps somehow end up at my camp.
I don't know if it's the funniest, but it was pretty humorous. Is when, I guess it was the next to the last day, and you were over at Jimmy's.
I'm at the special
spot. Nobody else
go.
Gets to go to. So Mike sends me this picture of this buck on the ground and it says now I lay me down to sleep. So I'm like, cool, you got one. You can't really see it, but when you zoom it in, it kind of looks a little small. So he brings it to camp, and I go, holy crap. So he's cleaned it up. I go, where's the head? And he goes, it's over there. And I go look at it, and it's laying by mine, and I go, okay. Didn't say nothing.
I done chewed him out for the one he shot, and I put one next to it that was just a little bit
a little bit smaller.
So that was your highlight.
No, the highlight was Matt Clapp looking for it, asking me all these questions. Where's the head?
He was
ate up with that.
Because he shoots small deer. He acts like he's a big hunter, but he shoots small deer, and then he hides them and takes them places. So what happened that day was I came back, and I'll be honest with you, it wasn't something that I wanted to leave in the back of my truck for half a day showing everybody in town what I killed.
Bass saw it. Bass.
You make mistakes. I'll be the first to tell you. I'll tell you if you make one, but I may not tell you if I make one. But that's just kind of the way it is. And I cleaned the deer up pretty quick, I'd say.
Probably record time.
Probably faster than I ever have.
Matt's coming in. We got to get done.
We know he's coming in. He can't sit still. Him and Hardiman. Hardiman's got to have something to eat. That's one thing about them big guys. He's like 6'5". He's got to eat.
First thing they do
every
is cook
3
breakfast
hours.
when they get back from
cook breakfast and then they eat lunch before they go back out. So I know Matt's coming back. So I clean the deer up quick and kind of conceal the head where he can't find it. And it's just eating him up. And he's still, to this day, we're well over a week after, we're into February, and he has not seen that deer yet.
Well, he gets back and he goes, where's the head? And I go, it's in the back of the truck. And he runs over there and he looks, and he goes, it's not there. And I go, well, it was there. I didn't know Mike had moved it. And I go, no, dude, it's back there. So he's looking around, and he's like, where's the head? And then I go, he goes, well, where's the deer? And I go, oh, it's at the processor. I go, he's getting it mounted. Actually, no, before I told him the truth, it was in the back. I told him that you were getting it mounted, that you and Jimmy had carried it to the processor.
Hilarious. And he still to this day hadn't seen it.
No, he hasn't seen it. But No, it was a good year, man, and it's always fun. There's just so many stories, and
You know, one of the things that happened, Eddie had brought his boss out. What's his name? Let's put him on blast.
Chris
Chris what?
Sora,
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. AR. Now, I'm
AR
gonna tell you something.
6.5.
You pick up the magazine, they tell me to buy an AR 6.5 Grendel. It's the best rifle in the world. Well, it's, in my opinion, it's junk. I mean,
Sorry, Chris.
yeah, I can respect the AR, and I'll never talk bad and say somebody shouldn't own something because it's all of our rights to own guns. But if you've ever hunted with an AR, and I know people that do, Buzzard Bruce loves ARs.
The running deer.
They're big, they're heavy. Who wants to carry that? You know, usually your average box stand, which is what we're sitting in as we get older nowadays, your average box stand has an opening that's about like that by this long
Maybe a little more, but
to shoot out of.
Yeah.
Well, the AR frame is so big and bulky. You know, ping, pang, pang,
Well-
pang, pang, and then the deer's out there going, what is that noise?
none of that happened. But the funniest thing was he's sitting there, the big 8 comes out. He's like, "Oh yeah, fixing to get me a deer."
Well, what he didn't tell you is Mike had a little secret honey hole in the corner of the property.
True.
Where I had 4 monster bucks on it, and I said, go put your boss on one.
So we did.
Nobody's been there.
So it steps out, and lo and behold, poor Chris looks at his rifle. The dust flap is closed, which means it's not hot.
Not one in the pipe.
Not one in the pipe. So
Now you got to be quiet with an AR.
how can you be quiet with an AR? Yeah, we heard all that. I asked him to do it for me at camp, and he did. And there's nothing. You know, that's why I really.
Chris was smart. He knew he couldn't load it, and he
just
did nothing.
He did nothing.
He
That's
didn't
right.
want to spook the deer. He didn't want to educate the deer, and then he was rewarded.
Yep. So I think the next day or something, the man walked out, and it was you know,
A
it's
different deer, another big one.
just big buck. It just didn't work out. You know,
Shot.
drew blood, good
Trailed
shot,
it.
trailed it.
That's the
Called,
greatest thing now. We used to be pretty much on our own back in the day, or you had to know somebody. What is it, bloodtrail.com or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and most of on your Facebook pages, they have some kind of clubs that are into that, where people have dogs that trail deer.
And if they can't come, they recommend somebody. It's like a
killer
team
network.
effort. Yep.
I think the guys that came out for you were from Mississippi, right?
Yes, I
2
believe
hours
so.
away.
Yeah, the one that got eat up with the hog.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you got a different guy.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. I had a good one this year. That was a special one. I wounded one, called the guy out. He was still 2 hours away.
We got to work on our shooting.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that was in here, did one of these with us, and he'll probably be listening to this one, Lat. He does shooting schools, and that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. I think we're going to set something up. You know, one of the things that was said to us, and we were talking about bad shots because I've had my share of them, you know, this year, and there's probably been some stuff that's happened with me that you don't even know about this year,
I imagine.
that you will never know about. And I don't even know if I'd admit to it, but I mean, some crazy stuff, getting in a hurry and not paying attention. But like I said, I think T.A. Mahoney's going to team up with Lat. We're going to do some shooting, and I'm going to be first on the list. That's one of the things we
That'd be
need to
cool.
practice
That'd be cool.
a little more. But, you
I'm,
know, it seems like with me, every deer, very seldom are you sitting there and he walks out, he's not alerted, and just gives you the perfect shot at 100 yards. I mean, it's usually like that one I missed this year. I had Judge Tharp, which I had him on here too, and just to let you know, he talked, you know how people will avoid the way they are. He's scared of the dark because he texted me at 5:10. We were allowed to hunt till 5:15, and he texted me at 5:10 and said, "Hey, come get me. Like I'm supposed to stop what I'm doing. I put you in a stand, and now I got to come get you." Well, that next day I knew he wanted to be rolling about 5:15, so you got to, you know,
Sure guess.
fancy pants judge. You got to go out there and cater to him. So I'm getting out of my stand at 5:10. I give one look back before I start walking. I got my scope cap on, guns unloaded. I'm about to walk back to the buggy. I look across the field and he's staring at me. Beautiful buck. Jump back in the stand, get scope caps off, put a bullet in, hitting every piece of metal in the stand. He's over there about wondering what in the world all this racket is. Well, I got about a 1 second window. He's walking. I yell. He continues walking. I put it on him. Boom, shoot him. So most likely hit him in the brisket.
Drew blood?
Drew blood.
Dead deer.
No, that's my line.
Well,
That's not.
If
that,
you draw blood, that's the rules. If you draw
Whose
blood in
rules?
your rules,
So I don't have to apply to my.
your rules. Okay, so you make them, but you don't got to live
Well,
by
it's
them.
because of the people I'm around.
Oh,
that's not something I have to worry about.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you never miss.
No,
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 okay.
that's not. My rules are different than your rules.
Oh, we know that.
You know, I think I've explained that to you before.
Yeah, what was it?
But I messed up this year. And I agree with you. You got to count blood as a dead deer. If you're anywhere, you're at a ranch, you know, most likely I hit him in the brisket. The dog chased him 3.5 miles, but it doesn't mean he was done.
Right.
And
No, he's just, you know.
I got my limit. I didn't call him in because I didn't have him right in front of me. And had another one I shot. Never had it happen in my life before. Shot down there in the wagon wheel, 300 yards. He flipped over on his back. His legs were pulled into him for over 5 minutes. And all of a sudden I see movement, and that's him getting up and taking off and running. No sign, no blood.
Megan at the ghost stand.
Yep.
Shoulder shot, laid him down.
Why do we call it the ghost stand? Why don't we talk about that?
Confederate soldier.
We are on this property in Alabama, and let me tell you, there's some shady stuff that goes on there. Shady. Well, you actually saw what Confederate soldier.
That's
we
what it
changed
looked like
the
to
name.
me. Yeah, we call that stand the ghost stand, but it was like drove all night. It could have been sleep deprivation. I don't know, but we drove all night, or I drove all night. Got there early morning, tired, went to sleep. Got up the next evening, or later that afternoon was going to go hunt. Mike said go to the ghost. So
We didn't even call it the ghost.
no,
stand.
go to
Cross the creek.
cross the creek.
Yeah.
So I go there, and I go walking in, and this place is like cedars everywhere. And as I'm walking to the stand, I see like a puff of smoke come from behind one of the cedar trees, and I go, "Damn it, Mike! Surely you're not over here playing a joke." So I walk past the stand, and I go look at the cedar tree and look around it, and there's nothing there. So I go, So I went back to the stand, and I sat there, and I'm sitting there, time's passing. And I'm looking in about 200 yards, almost to the end of the lane there, and I see this figure leaning against a tree, smoking a cigarette. And it literally, y'all might think I'm crazy, but it's got a Confederate cap on, Confederate colors, the gray suit. He's leaning against a tree, puffing on a cigarette. So I'd pull the scope up and look, and it'd be gone. Put it down, and it's there. And I know that happens sometimes with a brush deer.
Yeah.
Or a bush deer.
Yeah.
And
Shadows.
shadows and stuff. So, and I was look at it without the scope, and it would like fizzle away. And this went on for 10 minutes or so, and then it just went away and it stopped. Well, 20 minutes later, it appears again 100 yards closer. Same thing. The guy's leaning against a tree, smoking a cigarette, old Confederate clothes. Yeah, I can see, Caucasian male, and I put the scope up, it's gone. Blew my mind. And then I went and told them about it, and then
You
come
keep
to find,
hunting that day?
oh yeah, I hunted till the end, but I got out of that stand pretty damn quick.
Yeah,
I
a
can
little
tell you
bit
that.
before dark.
When it started getting dark, my ass got out of that stand.
Yeah, it's some funny things happen out there. We've got all kinds of stories with those as far as little things. But I will tell you about that. The pine trees and the cedars, they pollinate.
And that's what Tommy told me.
You were asking me about that stand that Eddie made this really neat stand. It's on a trailer and it's
Well,
elevated.
I didn't make it. Dennis made it.
Dennis made it. He stood there with his hands in his pockets.
Absolutely.
And took credit for it, like he designed it. That's all another
That was
story.
my
there.
idea and Dennis's design, and I told you that. So
No, you came out
can turn
acting
it
like
any way
you
you want to.
designed it, and I told you there was a difference between design and idea.
Nope.
Everybody's got an idea. You got your hands in your pockets. I know you ain't designing nothing. Anyway, he asked me what I saw in that stand. Well, that stand, I did see that how they pollinate that.
You saw
day.
one do that?
Yeah, it got a little bit warmer. You left the day before the end of the season. I ran it all the way to the end. And I did see, and it was kind of incredible because I looked up there and I saw a bunch of white smoke is the way it looked. And I thought, what's on that wood line smoking that would cause that? I was thinking the farmers got machinery or whatever it was, but no, I actually saw it
Yeah, that's the way
probably at least 7 times.
that's the way the cedar trees pollinate it.
And the pine trees. That's
I
what
didn't know about the pine trees.
Yeah, those pines you're looking at in yours, they come right out of there. I don't know that how, I'm no expert on it.
But I know for a fact that
they don't spit Confederate soldiers
that's
out.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That come from somewhere else.
So yeah, it could, sleep deprivation, I guess. But did you hear the other stories about the old antebellum house and then the lights down the dirt road and the big crash and everybody
People
jumps
yelling
up?
for help. Ross Barkhurst, he's out there, a guide from Louisiana. He's hunted with me and seen some stuff he won't talk about.
I've
That's what
actually
he
heard
told me.
people at night. You could hear people going, "Help!"
Yeah, you just got to ignore them.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
some scary stuff
But why do we hunt there?
because it's great, man.
It's
we have
fun.
a great
It's all,
time.
I'm telling you, it's the misfit hunting camp.
It's
Is
awesome.
exactly what it is. Well, Eddie, I've had a great time, man, having you here and talking hunting.
We'll come back. We got more.
Fishing. We got a lot more. All I got to do is fish with you or hunt with you a couple of days, and I'll
Yeah.
have another 30, 45-minute show with
Because
you.
we all know where the shenanigans come from.
That's what they started this year. They said, the story always goes around, Mahoney, but it ends up on you. That's what he told me. Thanks for joining us, T.A. Mahoney, Tales from the Dark Side. Till next time, we'll see you then.